Most people searching for a reliable car for a senior family member think the process is simple. Just find something comfortable, pick a color, and sign the paperwork. But the data tells a completely different story. Consumer Reports has spent decades collecting real ownership information from hundreds of thousands of drivers across the country. And when you filter that database specifically for older drivers, specifically for reliability, ease of use, and long-term ownership costs, 5 vehicles rise completely above the rest. We are talking about cars that recorded near zero owner-reported problems across every major category Consumer Reports tracks. These are not marketing claims. These are the numbers, straight from the surveys, straight from the ownership data. Today we break down all 5, starting from impressive and building all the way to the single best car Consumer Reports recommends for seniors in 2026. Number 5. The 2026 Subaru Forester. The Forester has been quietly building one of the most loyal owner bases of any vehicle in its class, and when you look at the Consumer Reports data, it is not hard to understand why. Consumer Reports gave the 2026 Forester a predicted reliability score of 9 out of 10, which puts it firmly at the top of the compact SUV segment. But for seniors specifically, the numbers get even more interesting. Owner satisfaction surveys show that drivers over 65 rate the Forester higher than almost any other vehicle in its class when it comes to ease of entry and exit. And that matters more than most people realize. Getting in and out of a vehicle dozens of times every single day adds up physically over weeks and months, and the Forester sits at a door-opening height that does not require climbing up or crouching down. The seat height is positioned at around 23 inches from the ground, which Consumer Reports identifies as the sweet spot for most adults. The visibility from the driver's seat is exceptional, with large windows, thin pillars, and a high seating position that gives a clear, unobstructed view of everything around the vehicle. Consumer Reports noted that the 2026 Forester received 0 major powertrain issues in their annual owner survey. And the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine under the hood is one of the most proven and mechanically simple engines in this segment. There are no turbos, no complex dual-clutch transmission concerns, just a smooth and predictable continuously variable transmission that Subaru has refined across multiple generations. The infotainment system is straightforward enough to navigate without requiring a driver to look away from the road for extended periods, which Consumer Reports specifically flagged as a senior-friendly design strength. Subaru also includes their EyeSight driver assistance suite as standard across all 2026 Forester trims, covering adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, and lane departure warning at no additional cost. The average transaction price for a 2026 Forester sits around $31,000, which makes it one of the most affordable options on this entire list, without sacrificing any of the reliability that puts it here in the first place. If you want a vehicle that Consumer Reports says will deliver years of trouble-free ownership, starting here is the right call. Number 4. The 2026 Honda Accord. The Accord is one of those vehicles that has been around so long that people sometimes take it for granted. And that is a serious mistake, because the 2026 model is one of the best cars Consumer Reports has ever evaluated in the mid-size sedan segment. Honda has spent decades engineering long-term reliability into the Accord at a level that most manufacturers simply cannot match, and the 2026 model continues that record. Consumer Reports gives the Accord a predicted reliability rating of 9 out of 10 and notes that owner reported problems across all major categories, including the engine, transmission, electronics, and climate system, are either rare or essentially non-existent in the current generation. For seniors, the Accord delivers a combination of benefits that is genuinely hard to find anywhere else at this price point. The cabin is spacious, with ample headroom and enough legroom that taller seniors will never feel cramped after a long drive. The seats are wide and well cushioned, with enough firmness to provide real support on longer trips without becoming uncomfortable after an hour on the road. Honda made a deliberate decision to keep physical buttons and knobs for the most used climate controls on the 2026 Accord, and Consumer Reports explicitly called this out as a significant strength for older buyers. When you want to turn up the heat on a cold morning, you reach down and turn a knob. You do not scroll through menus on a touchscreen. And for drivers who prefer straightforward controls, that is a meaningful quality of life advantage. The 2026 Accord comes with two powertrain options, a turbocharged 4-cylinder and a hybrid system, and Consumer Reports specifically recommends the hybrid version for senior buyers because of its smoother and more predictable power delivery and the substantially lower fuel costs over time. The hybrid powertrain in the Accord has been in production and real-world use long enough that reliability concerns are essentially absent from the data Consumer Reports collects. Honda has refined it to the point where it simply works every single time, without drama or unexpected behavior. The average transaction price on a 2026 Accord lands around $33,000 for the standard model, and around $37,000 for the hybrid, and Consumer Reports rates both as strong values for the level of reliability and feature content included at those price points. If this kind of ownership data research is useful to you, hit that like and subscribe button right now. It genuinely helps the channel, and there is a lot more content like this coming. Number 3. The 2026 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. The RAV4 Hybrid occupies a very specific and valuable position in the market, a mid-size crossover that is practical enough for everyday errands and comfortable enough for longer road trips, while delivering a reliability track record that Consumer Reports has consistently ranked among the best of any vehicle in the entire crossover segment. Consumer Reports gives the 2026 RAV4 Hybrid a reliability score of 9 out of 10, and owner-reported issues across all categories have been exceptionally low across multiple model years in a row. For seniors specifically, the RAV4 Hybrid carries some advantages that go well beyond the general reliability numbers. All-wheel drive comes standard on the hybrid version, which means seniors living in regions with cold winters or wet conditions do not have to worry about upgrading trims or paying extra for added safety. The system sends power to the rear axle through an electric motor rather than a conventional mechanical connection, making it lighter, more fuel-efficient, and virtually free of the maintenance demands that traditional all-wheel drive systems require over time. Consumer Reports highlighted the RAV4 hybrid power delivery as one of its strongest attributes for older drivers because the electric motors provide immediate and smooth torque without the hesitation that some turbocharged engines produce at low speeds. For a senior pulling out of a parking space or merging onto a busy road, that smooth and completely predictable power response is genuinely safer and less stressful than a vehicle that surges unpredictably or hesitates under throttle. The interior is designed around practicality, with a high center console, large, clearly labeled controls for the climate system, and a gauge cluster that is easy to read across a wide range of lighting conditions. The driver's seat adjusts in multiple directions, and the steering column has a generous range of tilt and telescopic reach, which Consumer Reports noted is especially beneficial for seniors who may have a narrower, comfortable seating range than younger drivers. Fuel economy on the RAV4 Hybrid averages around 38 miles per gallon in combined driving, which is exceptional for a vehicle of this size, and means seniors on fixed incomes spend substantially less at the pump compared to owners of comparable non-hybrid crossovers year after year. The average transaction price sits around $36,000, And Consumer Reports rates the 5-year total cost of ownership of the RAV4 Hybrid as one of the lowest in the entire crossover segment when fuel savings and minimal maintenance costs are factored in together. Number 2. The 2026 Lexus ES. The Lexus ES is where the data becomes almost unfair, because this vehicle consistently sits at or near the absolute top of every reliability metric Consumer Reports tracks, and it has been doing that year after year for a long time. The 2026 ES carries a predicted reliability score of 10 out of 10 from Consumer Reports, which is as close to a perfect score as any vehicle ever receives in their evaluation system. The ES is also one of the highest-rated vehicles in owner satisfaction among senior drivers specifically, with Consumer Reports surveys showing that drivers over 65 rate the ES above nearly every other sedan on the market in terms of ride comfort, ease of operation, and long-term dependability. The interior of the 2026 ES is a clear demonstration of what practical luxury should feel like. The seats are wide, deeply cushioned, and heat and ventilate at the press of a large and clearly labeled button that requires no searching or squinting to locate. The cabin is exceptionally quiet, with Lexus using multiple layers of acoustic insulation and laminated glass to reduce road and wind noise to levels that are genuinely remarkable for the price. For seniors who may experience some degree of hearing difficulty, a quieter cabin means they can hold conversations, hear navigation prompts, and enjoy audio at comfortable volumes without the constant background noise that less refined vehicles produce at highway speeds. The infotainment system received a significant overhaul in the current generation and now uses a touchscreen that Consumer Reports described as intuitive and reliably responsive. Physical buttons handle the climate controls, volume, and audio inputs, and the touchscreen display is large enough that small targets are not a source of frustration. Lexus includes their Safety System Plus package as standard equipment on the 2026 ES, covering pre-collision warning with pedestrian detection, automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane departure alert, and automatic high beams. Consumer Reports found essentially zero major issues reported across the 2026 ES owner base in their annual reliability survey. And the hybrid powertrain, which is the only available option on the ES in 2026, has been in production long enough that it functions at a level of proven dependability that very few competitors can match. The average transaction price on a 2026 Lexus ES is around $47,000, and Consumer Reports notes that this represents genuinely strong value when the reliability scores, the low 5-year ownership costs, and the level of comfort and technology included are considered together. Number 1. The 2026 Toyota Camry Hybrid. And here we are at the top of the list, and the data does not leave room for debate on this one. The 2026 Toyota Camry Hybrid is not just the best car for seniors according to Consumer Reports, it is one of the most consistently reliable vehicles of any type that Consumer Reports has evaluated across the modern era of automotive testing. The Camry Hybrid scores a perfect 10 out of 10 on Consumer Reports' predicted reliability rating. Owner-reported issues in the Consumer Reports annual survey are essentially non-existent across every single major category tracked. The hybrid powertrain that Toyota has been engineering and refining for over 2 decades is one of the most proven mechanical systems in the entire automotive industry. There is nothing experimental here, nothing working out the problems of a first or second generation design. The Camry Hybrid powertrain is deeply tested, deeply refined, and the ownership data shows exactly that. For seniors, the Camry Hybrid brings together every quality that matters most into a single, cohesive package. The seats are easy to enter and exit, positioned at a comfortable height that does not demand physical effort. The cabin is genuinely quiet, the controls are designed to be intuitive, and the fuel economy is outstanding at around 47 miles per gallon in combined real-world driving. A senior covering 15,000 miles annually at current fuel prices will spend roughly half of what a comparable non-hybrid sedan owner spends on gasoline each year, and on a fixed income that is a real and significant financial advantage that compounds over years of ownership. The reliability record means that expensive repair bills and unplanned trips to the dealership are simply not a part of what most Camry Hybrid owners experience. Consumer Reports tracks the 5-year cost of ownership across the entire midsize sedan segment, and the Camry Hybrid consistently places near the very top of their ranking for lowest total ownership cost. The interior is thoughtfully laid out without being overcomplicated. Physical controls handle the functions drivers use most often. The display is clear and readable in any light, and the available technology makes long drives comfortable without overwhelming drivers who genuinely prefer a simpler experience. Toyota includes their Safety Sense package as standard across all 2026 Camry trims, covering automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, lane centering assist, and automatic high beams. Consumer Reports rated Toyota Safety Sense as one of the best implemented driver assistance packages at this price point, specifically because it functions reliably in the background without demanding constant driver interaction or generating excessive false alerts that lead drivers to disable the system entirely. The average transaction price on a 2026 Camry Hybrid is around $34,000. Which makes it one of the most affordable vehicles on this list, despite earning the top position for reliability and senior owner satisfaction. Consumer Reports data points to the Camry Hybrid as the benchmark for what older drivers should be looking at in 2026, and the numbers back that conclusion completely. So there you have it. 5 vehicles that Consumer Reports says are nearly perfect for senior drivers in 2026, and every single one of them earned that position through real ownership data, not marketing. The Subaru Forester, the Honda Accord, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, the Lexus ES, and the Toyota Camry Hybrid are on this list because the data puts them here, nothing else. If you found this useful, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel reach more people who need this information. And if you want more content built around real numbers and real ownership costs, hit subscribe because there is a lot more coming that you are going to want to see.